Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Snowfall, Season 4, Episode 5 review. Let's get into it now. I fell off from reviewing Snowfall because after last season, mid-season, the interest started. I started to see the interest fall versus the first two seasons that I was doing the reviews, and then like mid season it just was getting like pretty dull. Stuff was becoming like too unreal, and a lot of hocus pocus stuff going on, and a lot of stuff just wasn't making sense, and I didn't like the writing of it. And so here we are, season 4, and I'm coming back to give it a chance, and just looking at it, and at first I just was thinking like, well, nothing too impressive, but then I'm seeing it starting to pick up, and you wonder where it's going. Now, based upon where this story originates from, this whole series of Snowfall is based on true events, and I guess they add a little bit more to it for theatrical purposes. So not all of it's true. They adding stuff in, and what you have in season 4 is Teddy McDonald, aka Reed, is with Gustavo, and they're running their drugs, and they're running into a problem that there's the federales, they got new police chiefs and stuff like that, so they not with, well, they're not, they want their cut too, so they infiltrate Reed and Gustavo, basically saying, hey, you need pay us a different percentage that you was paying the last group. And what that ended up leading to through episodes 1 through 5 is Gustavo's family members got killed. They came and killed him, and I think that's his brother that was in the wheelchair. Killed his brother. Gustavo's on a warpath, and he wants revenge. And so Teddy reaches out to his FBI people to get information on where these people are located, and they go straight gun blazing to get revenge, and he does get revenge. Meanwhile, you have Franklin Saint, of course, is the main character through all this. He is recovering from getting shot, and he's walking around in a cane the first 5 episodes. He's walking around in a cane, and the business has been running while he's been rehabbing. And you got Man Boy on one side, Shooter on the other side, and they warring with each other. And somebody's telling Franklin, you need to pick a side. His Aunt Louie with his Uncle Jerome. Aunt Louie is pretty much like, you need to go with Man Boy. You need to go with Shooter, because basically Shooter, even though he's crazy, but he not stay in his lane. He ain't trying to do too much more than where he at. Man Boy is somebody that's trying to always outthink people and get he want to take over. He want to be the head person, but he know Franklin got this connect, so Franklin can sell the dope cheaper than anybody, and it's a good quality product. So you have that going, and Franklin decides to set Shooter up. He chose to be with Man Boy, and he decides to set Shooter up, and it backfired. It didn't kill him, so it started a war. Meanwhile, while that Franklin did that, Leon was in the cut doing his 1-2 in the projects, and he don't fool with Franklin no more. I mean, that's his people's, but he kind of been estranged with him since Franklin killed their friend. And so he told Franklin pretty much, I'm not here to be underneath you. I'm running these projects, so pretty much on my own boss. So they parted ways, but what happened is because Shooter know Franklin and Leon is crew, pretty much Shooter tried to shoot him as well. Now what he does in the process is Franklin, old girl who's strung out on drugs, is she sees Leon and pretty much saves Leon's life by raising awareness that Shooter's coming and his crew about to shoot him, but she got hit in the process. So he still got love for her, even though she's strung out on drugs or whatever. And meanwhile, that smoke started Leon. Now he's furious. How he want to get back. She in the hospital all shot up, and he paid for her hospital stay so she could try to get clean. And now he's going out trying to find Shooter or whatever. So in the process, one day they're chilling, looking. He looks over, sees Shooter's boys. They only make contact with the boys, and they happen to be pulled up right next to him. And they both had a shootout with each other. Now, Leon and Fatback was on the passenger side and other side. The driver that was in Leon's car and the other guy, they both got killed. And Leon just was shooting. So driver in the other passenger seat in the other car got shot. Of course, Shooter wasn't in that car. It was his goons. Meanwhile, Shooter's baby mom and daughter was in the back seat. Horrific. So the mom didn't get hit, but the daughter did. Of course, she did. I didn't even know that, or wasn't paying attention, that Shooter's baby mom is Man-Boy's sister. So that was Man-Boy's niece. So now they've been warring with each other, but they're going to make amends because now they want Leon's head. Because, of course, the baby mom is told him because she's seen it. And Leon been on the run. So they Man-Boy went to Saint, pretty much told him, like, listen, when I had a problem, I brought the problem to you and I handled it. I expect the same in return. I expect you to hand over Leon to us or whatever. And so, Saint, he's been fighting. He was fighting with it the whole episode on if he gonna turn his boy in or not. And he ended up not turning him in. And Leon went back to his projects pretty much to get some money, and he gonna dip. He had some money stashed away, and Shooter seen him, and the Shooter started shooting at him, and Franklin and Jerome pulled up and allowed him jump in the car, and they rode off with him. And so Man-Boy approached Franklin at the end of the episode pretty much like, yo, you want to go to war, and next time it ain't gonna be so peaceful. And so Franklin don't have no soldiers, and he need to get soldiers. He got a lot of money though, but they don't got no soldiers. And his main bodyguard was an ex-military, and he pretty much told Franklin he was done because he didn't come out being in war overseas, didn't come home and be in another war with the gang wars and stuff like that, drug war and stuff. So he told Franklin he out or whatever. So Franklin was like, not right now, I need you right now. But he was like, nah, I'm done. So that's that. You also have the reporter. The reporter is and so this season so far, you've been having a reporter that's been digging deeper, trying to find out. She knows Saint is dirty, but she can't find nothing that sticks. And the further she's digging, a lot of things is coming up. So you find out about when Franklin was in jail, and all of a sudden he got released, and there's no record on file about anything. And then you find out there was a detective on the case. She went missing. Of course, we know Teddy McDonald, aka Reed, got rid of her, then dissolved the body. So her handler pops up to the reporter and pretty much tells her like, yo, and gives her all the information he had on everything. She goes to her, the head newspaper boss, like, hey, we got some serious story that the government is funneling drugs into the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So how far did this go off the chain or whatever? So they get interested in the newspaper company is suffering. So they pretty much like, let's go with it. And we're gonna give you all the resources you need so that we can be successful. So you see that's brewing right there. You got the mom, Franklin's mom, who is pretty much there. She's smart. She good with booking. She good with the numbers, and she's trying to expand so they can get out of the drug game. Trying to expand, get in with the politicians so they can get property, and pretty much go legit. But Franklin, he has to stay tied to Reed so he can keep funneling the drugs for Reed to service the war. So pretty much Franklin asks Reed, hey man, how long you think, this more is going to be? So he trying to plan an exit strategy, the promise he gave to his mom. And Reed pretty much told him, it's always going to be another war. It's really not a end date or whatever. They're going to probably just keep going until they can't go no more. And you already know how this is going to end, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So we know in real life how the real story ended. But this is the TV show, so we'll get to see how it plays out. For theatrical purposes, they can expand it and do what they want to do with it or whatever. And then you also have to take yourself, this is like, the setting of this is, I think it's the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around in that time frame. So a lot of things wasn't, that you think they should know. They don't, because what we know now, you might get caught up like, why did they do X, Y, Z? Well, back then, they didn't know about those things back then. You know what I'm saying? Things wasn't as advanced as they are now or whatever. And that was that's why they was able to make so much money, because if you ever watch those old, like those drug documentaries and you see all the money that they was having, the government and authorities, they wasn't equipped to deal with that type stuff. They was, all that money, the murders and all that, they wasn't equipped for that. It was something they never seen before, and they had to build special task force to combat that type stuff. So that's what you're seeing in here. You're seeing how the drugs turn into the inner city, and how the people basically, how the people and the culture was affected by the drugs and what it did to the people. So it's a good series. This season picked up. I thought I'd start reviewing it again. So this pretty much, I told you, I recapped a lot, plus recap episode 5. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.